For over 60 years, Arizona Public Media has been a part of Tucson's landscape, starting out as instructional television on the campus of the University of Arizona in the basement and sub-basement of the Modern Languages building.
I came for the visit and really was surprised by what I found here. It literally is a classroom building built in the early 1960s for a single instructional TV station. There are gas spigots in the studios today that once were used for chemistry labs and the like.
I know what that building looked like when I took classes there in the 70s, and it has not changed much.
So we have radio stations that are using what used to be office spaces that have been somewhat converted to the best of our ability.
We've been in this basement now for decades, and it's a miracle to me that AZPM can produce the quality that they do in the situation that they're in.
If you want to find AZPM, you got to go down a bunch of steps into what some would arguably call the dungeon.
We're still back in the 60s in terms of some of the equipment in our present facility.
You have 21st century programming, now you need a 21st century environment. We want to get you out of the basement.
But as AZPM expanded with PBS and NPR, and with broadcast technology rapidly advancing, the existing structure and facilities just couldn't keep up.
About 10 years ago now, we brought Russ Berger and his organization have done acoustic design for NPR stations around the country. And the price tag they came back with was just millions and millions of dollars. And at the end of the day, they said it will be almost right. It becomes clear quickly that you're not able to do the optimum design for the productions that you want to do.
After looking at purchasing an existing building and converting it into a broadcast facility, AZPM was faced with a harsh reality.
The facilities were of such an age that we would be inheriting just a boatload of problems to deal with over the next decade.
Once the decision was made to build a new media center, AZPM visited other public media centers across the country with a very specific set of goals.
We got to see 3 of the best facilities in the country. We looked at all 3 of them, and everybody looked around the table and said, we can top all 3 of those. We like that, we don't like that, we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do it better.
What we came down to was making the design flexible so that walls didn't need to get moved as the organization grew, and that the spaces were flexible enough to accommodate both future technology and future uses of the space.
The first thing you see when you come in is a community room, community studio that is for the public to be able to be used. And most of the public space is very open with little kind of windows into what you guys are doing.
We've specifically created a couple of different gathering spaces both within the building and on the site. You know, AZPM has done a great job of dreaming what this facility can be.
The Baker Center is, has everything that's needed. It's state of the art.
That's a really good point, that it is state of the art, because when I took the tour of the facility, I said, all of this is coming out of here?
Yeah.
How do you do it?
We should have done this years and years and years ago, but the time is finally right.
It's got great facilities to produce even more and better content.
The Baker's gift really moved it from design and idea stage into let's operationalize this and talk about how we can do this.
Our kids grew up with Sesame Street.
This is for the future generations. I really think it adds to the health of this community.
Public media is more than just PBS and NPR. It's the foundation of a community that thrives on engagement, outreach, conversation, and collaboration.
I think part of the challenge was how to be able to meet the processes and design a building that really works for the Arizona Public Media staff, but also then figure out how to integrate the community.
The Baker Center will provide a missing piece, if you will, in the expansion of communications in the core of our community and dialogue, I think.
I cannot wait to see what is possible when AZPM is in a building that's meant to do what you do.
It's a product that everybody uses and everybody has access to. So everybody in town should feel like they want to have an investment in this.
The Baker Center gives a long-term home to a source of information that we can trust.
We think it really contributes to the fabric of our community. We really love Tucson.
There's just something about Tucson and the people and then all the culture that we have to offer.
So this allows us an opportunity, I think, to continue with Arizona Public Media being at the core of our community in so many ways.
That's the dream, is to build these projects that are keystones to the community, because the duration of this project is 50 to 100 years. That's going to outlive me. So this will always be one of those projects that I can drive by and say, hey kids, I built that. Hey grandkids, I built that.
The Baker Center is an investment in our city, an investment in our future, an investment in today, tomorrow, and forever.
The legacy that I hope I would leave here after my time is the work that comes out of that facility that cannot come out of Modern Languages building.
It's going to be a beautiful building. I think people a few years from now will be taking for granted that that should have always been there.